back.
We're live, but not
In spirit.
In spirit.
Yeah, we're back on time. We were just
On
talking
schedule.
about this. This is the first time we've been on time. We've only had 3 episodes, so it's not saying that much, but we're hitting 50% at least. All right, well, welcome to the 1-2 podcast. This is where we discussed last week's results and then discussed the future's predictions. I'm Dominic.
Danny?
All right, let's get to it. GSP, was it last
Tuesday?
Was it this? No, last Tuesday. Last Tuesday or Wednesday, George St. Pierre, possibly one of the most famous mixed martial artists ever.
Yeah.
He retired. Yeah. And apparently, he had discussions about fighting lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov, but apparently that got canned.
Yeah.
So, one, do you think that the Khabib fight being canned is the biggest disappointment that we've had in 2019 so far?
No.
What do you think it is?
What do I think is the biggest disappointment?
Yeah. That's
I don't know. But I think it's actually a good thing.
Why do you think so?
Because that means that they're waiting for Khabib and Tony to fight.
I don't know.
In July, man, I'm telling you.
I don't know, man. We'll have to see, because I want that fight.
Everybody wants that fight.
Who doesn't?
It's probably the number one
for sure.
fight to make ever.
Yeah, as of this point, that hasn't been made already.
I mean, yeah, of course.
What's your favorite GSP fight?
My favorite GSP fight is the fight he got into with Matt Hughes after Matt Hughes fought Frank Trigg. I don't know.
I don't know who the fuck he fought.
I don't know.
Katie Metzger.
When he goes, I am not impressed by your performance. No, I don't know. Probably him versus Michael Bisping.
That was a good one.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, and I feel like that was just a big success story, it felt like.
Stepping up into a weight class that you've never fought in and then winning the title.
Him as like top. I think he's the GOAT.
You think he's the GOAT?
I think so. He has such an impressive record, and he's only been beaten by 2 people, and he avenged both of those losses, like, very convincingly.
Yeah.
Like, I think no one has evolved, because he started as primarily a kickboxer and a striker.
And then he picked up wrestling. Then wrestling was his go-to thing. It's really weird.
He might be like the second or third best wrestler in the UFC ever.
Really? You think so?
Probably. It's a hot take.
You got Khabib. DC, Yoel, Henry.
I'm not sure better. You can say Yoel's better than GSP.
He's an Olympic wrestler.
I'm not talking about like accolades. I'm just talking about like UFC style wrestling. GSP, when he wants a takedown, he gets a fucking takedown. And I don't think that Yoel.
And you got Henry.
Yeah, Henry. But I don't think Yoel has relied on it as much as GSP did in the latter half of his career.
Yoel is scary everywhere.
He's a knockout machine.
Third round Yoel.
My favorite GSP fight is Michael Bisping, just because it was so huge.
Yeah. God, that was a good card.
Yeah.
That was a good card.
It was on your birthday, right?
No, my birthday was the
Rockhold
getting knocked out. And I wasn't a fan of UFC then, but when I was looking back towards the records and I saw, hey.
You don't have to be a fan of the UFC, just be happy that someone like Luke Rockhold got knocked out. That guy's a toolbox.
He's going to fight Thiago Santos.
You think so?
Well, that's what his Insta.
Do you think that the Thiago Santos fight had any title implications? Because that's what a lot of people were saying, but I really...
No.
I don't see it.
After this fight, he fights Volkan, Gus.
Volkan Ozdemir has descended from where he was very quickly.
I'm going to talk a little shit here. I don't think he was ever that high to begin with.
He fought Daniel Cormier, which was his peak. It wasn't a very impressive showing.
I mean,
did he fight Anthony Smith after, or was there a fight in between?
He fought. It was DC and then Anthony Smith.
Yeah. Well, both of those were Not great showings.
No.
I don't know. I think that the 2 fights before he fought DC were really fast knockouts.
Yeah.
And the UFC just wanted to put someone in front of DC that had like a threat to him. But
my memory isn't the best, but who else were you going to do? Plus, knockouts sell.
Yeah, right.
Why do you think Conor is the number 1?
Yeah.
Whereas Mighty Mouse, who's
probably the best technical fight. Well, was the best technical fighter in the UFC.
I think he might be the GOAT.
He might be the GOAT. I'm not mad at that.
If the echo is really bad in here, I apologize.
We're in a new room because a group of hipsters took our old room.
Hipsters?
Did you see them? One of them had a hipster.
It was a Bible study.
Oh, well, a group of Christians. Not to say anything about Christians. If they're studying the Bible, it's probably their religion. I can't think of my favorite GSP fight. The one against Carlos Condit. Johnny Hendricks just made me sad because GSP lost. He didn't lose, but he lost.
I have not seen that fight.
Really?
No.
I had a dream that you told me this last night, that you hadn't seen that fight.
What?
I had a dream we were doing the podcast. You told me this because or maybe it was just like a daydream. But
Deja vu?
It's in terms of excitement, it's not a huge fight, but in terms of impact, I think like it's pretty fucking crazy that Johnny Hendricks didn't win that. And even after, have you seen the Dana White clips of him being like, "Is there anyone in this room that thinks GSP won that fight?" And then everyone's like, "No." He's like, "That was fucking ridiculous." Oh,
Dana. Say what you want. He's got some balls.
Okay. If GSP's not the GOAT, then who would you put there?
Mighty Mouse. See, here's the problem. John and Anderson can both get eliminated simply due to PEDs.
Yeah, I think in terms of my list, I think it's GSP, then I think it's John, then Mighty Mouse, then Anderson. What? I want to put Daniel Cormier somewhere in there.
It's tough. There's a lot of good fighters.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I want to I was considering putting Daniel Cormier where Anderson is, just because 1, he beat Anderson, and 2, Anderson's been on a losing streak as he's aged, and as Cormier's aged, it seems that he's only getting better.
It's because he be eating that Popeye's chicken.
Hell yeah. And Mexican food. Apparently that dude's obsessed with Mexican food.
I see it. I can see it.
Hell yeah.
You see that gut?
Dude,
so big.
He's a barrel. We talk about this every time. I'm obsessed with DC's fatness because he's representing the thick boys in the UFC. The champion is like, if you saw him on the street, you would be like...
That's a dad that drinks on the weekends and once a week benches.
He might be a dad that drinks on the weekend, but he benches more than once a week.
I mean, yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
All right. UFC 234, the pay-per-view numbers came in.
It was like 175K.
Yeah.
Not great.
Really bad. Pretty bad.
I mean, somebody commented for a one-fight card. Not terrible.
Right. Do you think it's a byproduct of Whitaker dropping out? Or
it definitely didn't help.
Yeah. I wonder how many people bought it before and were like, because I did the I refunded it because I was like, I can illegally stream this. I won't lose any sleep. But do you think it's that, or do you think Adesanya is the draw that the UFC kind of wants him to be? Because the way that they're framing it, they want him to be the next. I think they want him to be the next middleweight. I think they want him to be up there with Whitaker. I think they want that fight.
Yeah.
I don't think that they necessarily want the Gastelum fight anymore.
Yeah. I mean, but they have to. It's one of those situations.
Yeah, they can't just be like, all right.
They at least have to give him the opportunity.
Yeah, right.
Fight for the title.
Well, the interim belt between Adesanya and Gastelum.
Hot take. That fight makes sense for an interim belt. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's a
people hate on interim belts for so.
But okay, Whitaker's going to be out for. I don't know how long.
Probably at least until June.
He should be out for a while. He got to figure that shit out. But I'm not mad at that one. So I really hope that Adesanya isn't just... I hope he doesn't get derailed before he meets up with Whittaker, because that's a fight that I would really like to see.
I don't think he will be.
You think that he wins?
I think he wins.
How? I think we've probably talked about this.
I think he just starts touching him up in the second round. I think
the way that he dismantled Brunson, and Brunson is a wrestler with decent hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like a shit version of Gastelum, except Kelvin's fundamentals are way more solid.
His boxing fundamentals are crisp.
Yeah.
You can tell when he's...
But Adesanya's takedown defense is, from what we've seen, it's pretty good.
It's decent, yeah.
It's not good. Bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think Kelvin's necessarily like a top level wrestler.
No.
So it's going to be fundamentals versus... I think that Adesanya has a lot more tricks in the bag.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to pull them out. Because I don't think... That's why I like fighters that come from a kickboxing background. They're very technical in stand-up, and they're not afraid to, like, use that. You know what I mean? Like, when you see... The only people who I think, like, have really utilized, like, kicking to the max are people who come from either a Muay Thai or a kickboxing background. Because they understand it, and doing that from a young age, your legs get so used to it that you can kick someone's head without thinking about it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, where a wrestler, where you spend most of your, like, fundamental times, like, bending over, getting your leg that high is hard as fuck.
Yeah.
But, UFC 234, 175, not great. I think that...
What's causing this? You have... It's not like the main event was lackluster.
It wasn't necessarily bad, but I think the Whittaker fight was huge for that card.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was, but it's not... the UFC is not doing too well in terms of numbers. I mean... And what is it? Is it that Conor isn't fighting on every single card?
Right now, Conor and Khabib are probably the hottest fighters in the UFC, I would say.
Yeah.
And they're both out.
Him and John.
Yeah.
John is
a lot of people care about John, but a lot of fans care about John. But when I talk about UFC with, like, casuals, they always bring up Conor and Khabib.
Yeah.
Seldom do they bring up John.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It is kind of weird. So, Thiago Santos KO'd Jan Blachowicz in the third round of their fight. Is that right? Blachowicz?
I know it's not, but...
Blachowicz.
Yeah, my baba babo.
Yeah.
Yeah, mama babo.
Do you think that fight has any light heavyweight implications?
Not really.
Yeah.
If he fights another guy.
There's a lot of middleweights coming up to light heavyweight and making some noise.
I was thinking about that earlier, and it's bringing more attention to fighters who should really be fighting at their true weight class.
Well, okay.
Like Henry Cejudo, if he jumps up to 135, he might start dropping people dead. He's got power at 125.
Yeah, right, and that's rare.
Yeah.
That's really rare.
John Dodson, Henry Cejudo, John Dodson, Joseph Benavidez, I believe
did John Dodson lose his fight? He had a fight on the UFC.
Yeah, he got knocked out, I believe.
Yeah. R.I.P. John Dodson.
My brother hates John Dodson.
Really?
He thinks he's a creep. He has a very weird haircut.
Yeah, and being that's like, when you're that slim, oftentimes you get a little bit creepier vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I don't know like a lot of like creepy looking like heavyweights other than Roy Nelson, of course.
The racist Roy Nelson? Did you see the picture of him shaving his beard?
Yes.
Oh, you can't even tell.
He doesn't even look like him.
The racist vibes have kind of faded away.
Yeah, it's not as fun to make fun of him anymore. So do you think that Santos, do you think that the power he has is going to be like significantly higher at light heavyweight?
Thiago Santos?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to be
Is he going to have more power? Because at middleweight, he was a powerful guy, but...
Well, here's the thing. You're going to be hitting bigger guys.
Right.
But you're also going to be hitting harder.
Right.
So I think it depends on who you're fighting.
Right. It depends on the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and I'm not like expert in this field. I know a fucking lot, but I'm not an expert. But like with so he got the dude right on the chin, and it was a really well placed punch, knocked him down. But then he started doing hammer fists, and it took a significant amount of time for the ref. And I don't know if that was because the ref was maybe a little bit negligent in calling it, because I feel like as soon as he got dropped and Thiago got on top, I thought it was over. I was like, I don't think he recovers. It was such a well placed shot. But he did hammer fists for like 9 or 10 seconds.
I didn't see that
part. It was pretty intense. And then the ref called it. But I was like, I wonder if it was the chin of Jan, if it was Thiago Santos's lack of power with the hammer fist, or if it was the ref.
Probably the ref.
It looked painful. I was like, holy shit. Like, no, there's not many UFC fighters that are going to tap out from strikes. But, like, that looked like a situation where I was like, that can't feel good. Another UFC Prague little kind of heartwarming thing, if you like the guy. Stefan Struve won by submission.
I mean, go figure.
Yeah.
If he was going to win, submission.
That's how it is.
Or knockout. Knockout the greatest heavyweight of all time.
That makes him the greatest heavyweight.
Sorry, knockout the second greatest heavyweight of all time.
You think Daniel?
Daniel's the greatest heavyweight of all time. I changed my...
Were you thinking about this after the last one?
Mm-hmm. Daniel is the greatest heavyweight to ever live.
I respect that. I respect that decision. Do you think... Okay, so he basically said he's probably going to retire.
Yeah.
Should he retire?
Yeah, dude, he's had a crazy amount of fights.
Really?
Yeah, and he's been knocked out quite a bit. Yeah,
and when you're at the height that you are, just go to the league. Yeah. Watch him pick up basketball and just be in some, like...
Well, he's going to die young.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
I'm sorry, Stefan.
No, it's nothing against him. It's just giants. They're hard. Yeah. Around, like, 6'8", I believe. 6'9" is where it starts...
Getting dangerous?
Yeah, it starts
that's
decreasing
sad.
your lifespan.
I mean, who knows? Technology is a wonderful thing.
Dude, he's been knocked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Yeah.
And all by
in the UFC? Or just in general?
Just in general.
How many fights has he had?
That was his 40th fight.
Wow. Yeah,
it's time.
Yeah, you can do that.
And you've got knocked out by Mark Hunt and Roy Nelson.
And those were nasty.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about this. He did not use his length as well as he probably should have.
He could have John Jones.
He could have done a lot more.
He could have been a title winner.
Yeah.
I think if he would have stuck to his physical attributes, just got some pretty good, solid boxing fundamentals, 1-2, 1-2.
Yeah.
Your arms are so long, you'll be able to, just pepper them.
Right.
And they won't be able to
And they won't even be able to touch you. I think he got into the clinch too much. And, like...
I mean, his jiu-jitsu was decent. It was definitely...
Yeah, but I think he let guys get too close within standing range, where it's like people like John Jones don't even... Except with Daniel Cormier, there was a lot of clinch fighting. But people like John Jones don't usually let people get even close without a few jabs, And I feel like Struve, maybe his reactions just weren't quick enough, or it could be an external factor like that. It doesn't necessarily all come down to technique, but I don't know. There were times where he was lacking in his utilization of his length, but that sounded like how it sounded. Did you hear the Ben Askren quote? It says, he said, "If Colby Covington never fights again, I don't think one person in the entire world will shed a tear." He said that today. And Ben Askren. That, besides being a funny quote, because Ben's a funny guy, what's next for Colby? Who is next, I guess, I would say. Because do you think the UFC is like...
It's the weirdest thing. It's kind of like what's happening to Tony, in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you've earned your shot. No, wait, we're going to let this guy go.
Yeah, right.
And then if GSP would have fought, I'd be like, oh, we're going to let this guy go too.
Yeah.
And then it's
the thing is with... How old is Colby Covington?
He's like
30?
30.
Yeah, with Colby, he has time, With Ferguson, he's He's getting older, right? He's 35?
34. He's going to be 35.
34.
I think he just turned 35, actually.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think it was his birthday recently. But
he ate a pack of Skittles and some Coke. Or a pack of M&Ms.
That sounds delish. But
35, February 12th.
I really... Respect. Oh, man. I don't want him to be a fighter that's like, what could have happened if he got the shot? Because I feel like if there are 3 people in the UFC that I would bet on against Khabib.
You would bet
on? Like I'd bet against Khabib for.
Okay.
Brian Ortega.
Brian Ortega, yep, I agree.
Tony Ferguson. Max Holloway.
I don't see it.
It's a hot take.
I don't see it. Honestly, when people are giving Max credit for, or giving him, betting odds or
betting the fight?
I don't see it. I don't see how he's any different than Edson, Conor.
Oh, I think he's way different.
I think
his takedown defense is
it's better.
So
it doesn't
superior
change anything.
to Conor.
It doesn't change anything.
You're
not going to beat Khabib with a striker.
I don't know, man.
You either need perfect takedown defense, or a ground game.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing would be Khabib loves to chase people down.
Mm-hmm.
But so does Max. Like he's
crazy.
They both set insane paces. I think it would be just a war. I feel like it would be a war.
Yeah. Max definitely wouldn't give up.
Hell no.
Man, that guy's got heart.
Yeah, he does. And I don't know. I know that I just have blind faith in him, but I really want to see that fight. Even if he lost,
I don't see why. I don't see the buzz around that fight.
I don't know.
I think it just goes pretty much like
Conor?
Like pretty much not too different. I think he puts up more of a struggle in the takedown.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And his cardio will be obviously superior.
It's superior to I think it might be
tied
for first in the UFC.
I think Tony's number 1.
I think him and Tony are tied. The thing is, we've never seen them go against anyone with even close to a comparable stamina.
And that's why if those two fights,
it's
if those two fight,
it's going to be a gas. Because I was just watching something where it was like,
I think Tony would. Sorry.
No, go.
But I think Max would burn out.
Really?
Sooner than Tony would.
I think it depends on what weight they fight at.
I mean,
because apparently Tony can make featherweight.
I don't know about
that. That'd be funny if they just switched places. Yeah, right? Yeah. He did fight at he was in the Ultimate Fighter at welterweight.
He was pretty small, I think, but
he still won it at welterweight.
Yeah. If Max goes up to 155, that's an extra 10 pounds.
It's an extra 10 pounds. That's not small.
That's an amount.
It is an amount. But Max he's 6 foot?
5'11".
5'11"?
69-inch reach. He's got T-Rex arms.
Yeah, but dude, it's not about the size of the boat. It's the motion of the ocean.
It's about the amount of significant strikes.
It's about the 192 significant strikes you can land in a round. But so who do you think is next for Colby? Do you think it's Tyron or do you think it's someone else?
It should be.
If it's not Tyron, I think it is. I think it might be the winner of Darren Till, Jorge Masvidal. I think that's a possibility. But I'm not sure that the UFC would be very eager to put either. I don't think the UFC would really want to put Till back in that cage with Tyron. I think they're gonna wait because Till's young.
Till's going up to middleweight anyway.
Yeah, right. I think they're either gonna move him up or they're gonna wait until Tyron retires because that was one of the most decisive wins I think Woodley ever had was against Till.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the rankings. How is Nate Diaz still ranked?
I don't know.
He hasn't fought in like 2.5 years.
Did you see that video where the reporter was like, Nate was walking past the reporter after Cron Gracie's fight and was like, hey, when are we going to see you? And Dana was right there. He's like, soon, we're making moves. Yeah. The reporter asked Dana, are you guys actually planning to do something with Nate? He's like, absolutely not. It's like, Nate's funny as fuck. But did you hear what Dustin Poirier, he did an interview with, I think, Ariel Helwani. I mean, who else? And he said that Nate was the one that said he didn't want to fight. Dustin Poirier, I think, had an injury in camp.
Yep.
And
for 2:30.
They were going to try and reschedule it, and Nate said no. And then he kind of...
Nate's a pussy. That's maybe...
That's a hot take. I'm not ever going to say that. Because,
he'd whoop my ass, but I mean... Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, what does that mean? Like, if John Jones beat the shit out of me, all that is a lawsuit.
Wow, you can beat up a random civilian. No, it's... I don't think they talk so much trash. I just don't think
the Diaz brothers really are about the fighting life.
No, when you see Nick said, I don't want to hurt anybody.
I just want to party.
Respect for
fine.
saying that.
That's normal. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But I don't want to party. I just want to talk about other people hurting other people.
Yeah.
On a podcast. It's fun to watch.
Something primal. Just
all right, a little bit more serious news.
Oh, jeez, that was a cut.
Yeah.
That was a cut from Nate's a pussy.
Nate's a pussy to some serious news. So, welterweight legend. Welterweight legend Matt Hughes, accused of domestic violence by his wife and his brother. So thoughts? Have you heard the charges?
No, read them.
All right, let me pull it up. It's pretty graphic and pretty scary. So maybe if you're not into this kind of thing. Hey, this is Future Dom. So with the Matt Hughes conversation, we ended up just doing it without Danny's mic on accident, so it sounded really bad. To sum it up, he had physical violence against his wife and his brother's son. So, yeah, sorry. We had some technical difficulties. We switched locations because there was some guys playing pool, and it was rather obnoxious.
Yeah. Something we were talking about, though, was if we are Ariel Helwani and Chael Sonnen, who is who?
I think you're more controversial. You called Nate Diaz a pussy, so I'm definitely going to give you Chael.
I will simply offer you this. I don't think we've seen the best of Conor McGregor.
That's a good one. Do you think we've seen the best of Conor McGregor?
Ooh, that was slick. I was actually thinking about this, too. Like I said before, it depends on how much he fights.
Right.
Because if he keeps fighting, he's bound to look good.
Yeah.
Will he? I think he peaked.
I think he peaked?
Yep, I think the Eddie Alvarez performance was the peak.
The Eddie Alvarez performance is...
It's masterful.
It's really good. But I don't know. It probably could be his best, right?
Him, Aldo.
Right.
Him or Aldo.
I mean, yeah.
I was like, where's the other ones?
But
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he looked good against Dustin.
Yeah. Max Holloway. Just kidding. That was a segue. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier scheduled for 236 main event. I don't know why I said scheduled like that. I sounded like GSP. Scheduled.
You sounded like Ariel Helwani. You're professional.
Dude, I'm not. I'm really not. But how does that fight go down? Because they've fought before. Not a ton of people know that this is Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 2.
Yeah.
And even less people know
about this today.
Dustin submitted Max in the first that fight.
So most people, when they see that fight, go, Max.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Yeah.
However, it's one of those instances where people would bet against DC if it was Stipe DC.
Right.
It's like, but he won the first one.
Yeah. And
Max is different, but it's still like he won the first one.
There's two factors. One, Dustin Poirier is maybe the most underrated 155er in the division.
I would agree with that.
I think he's on a 5-fight win streak.
He's doing good.
He has looked so good. He's looked so good. Like him versus Eddie Alvarez, the second fight was like masterful. He's had some good fights. And I think as far as the top 5 goes, he's definitely the most underrated. I think he would do well against almost everyone other than Khabib and maybe Max. I think he has a very solid chance of beating everyone else, even Conor.
Tony?
It's a fun fight. I'm not really sure.
I don't see that fight going too differently than him versus Pettis.
Really?
Yeah. Trust me, I like Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the most relatable guy at 155 that I can think of.
Tony's like funny, but he's an alien.
Yeah.
He's an alien.
Conor is unbelievably
He thinks he's
famous.
God.
Yeah. And Habib.
He has a God complex.
And Habib
is Russian.
And he attacked Dylan Dennis. Which is funny. I love it.
Did you hear the consequences for Dylan?
No.
$7,500 fine and a 7-month ban.
What?
Right?
Well, he did talk a ton of shit. He was calling him like a Muslim rat or something like that. Yes, that reaction.
Yeah.
That's something like that.
That's
yeah, like you Muslim
speech.
Dog or something like. Ooh, you can't.
You can't say that, bro.
You can't say that.
You can't say that and not expect to get eagled.
Yeah.
To get swooped.
You just got bamboozled, punk.
Yeah, dude, he got eagled.
Yeah, but, maybe if you got off of Conor's dick,
yeah,
you'd
facts. Did you see the post that Conor posted about him?
No.
It's like 2 minutes of them rolling.
Yeah.
And Conor does not. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. I'm not an expert in jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what I know.
You know positions.
Right. Yeah.
Advancing.
Yeah, and Conor didn't look great.
Mm-hmm.
And he posted it, and that seems to be a trend.
Yeah.
So
what is he doing?
I don't know. I think he might be doing it on purpose.
He's just.
I think he might. Okay, to be honest, I think he might be trying to get people to bet against him.
Yeah.
Because I think he wants that underdog story, but with his personality, I don't think he can ever have it. I think he'll be a favorite in a lot of fights from now on, unless it's Habib or Tony.
Would he be the favorite? Now, would he be the favorite against Tony?
No, I don't think so. He shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be, but
I don't think enough. He could be just because I don't think enough people know who Tony Ferguson is.
But Francis Ngannou was the underdog against Kane, and I mean.
But I don't know, man. I think that was almost justified.
I don't think it was.
I think people were assuming knowing MMA knew that the break was probably going to result in ring rust. But if people based their predictions based on that last fight that Kane had against Travis Brown, I don't think it's very ridiculous to say that. But also, betting on him was wrong.
Francis had just knocked out a wrestler.
Yeah, right. I mean, Francis was. I think he was coming off of the Stipe and Derek fight. Kind of put him down, and I think a lot of people, including myself, partially kind of almost denounced him or like.
Forgot about him?
Yeah,
go back to top 5.
He had his hype train, and he'll probably be here for a while, but he's not going to do anything. But he's legit. Francis Ngannou
he's always been legit.
He's always been
legit.
He's
got holes, but he can beat anybody.
I mean, he's got holes, but if you go for a hole, you have to get through goddamn hammers thrown at your face.
I'm going to say this. Francis Ngannou versus any heavyweight ever. Anybody.
He has a chance.
The other guy doesn't win every single time. Fedor in his prime doesn't win every. Well, actually, I think Fedor in his prime is not that good, honestly.
That might be the hottest take I've ever heard you say.
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
His fight against Crow Cop, I watched it.
Yeah.
He's so flat-footed, man.
Yeah.
He
just had a chin, and he was just tough as shit.
No, but what I'm getting at is how Francis he can beat anybody.
I agree. I think
it's just gotta happen.
It's just gotta happen the way you want. If it's striking, I think he's not. He's not the most technical striker of all time, but is
enough.
Undoubtedly the most powerful.
Yeah,
and there's not like a very close second. I don't think.
I think Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt's powerful, but I don't think he. I think he gets his shit rocked if he goes against Ngannou, and that's saying a lot because Mark has one of the GOAT chins.
Yeah.
Mark is not the GOAT, but his chin. Top
number
5.
1?
Top 3.
Who's number 1?
Damn. Yoel Romero's up there, bro.
Wait.
Yoel Romero.
Who's number 1? Oh, God.
Roy Nelson?
Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. No, who's the fighter with the really terrible chin?
Bob Sapp.
What chin?
Yeah, he doesn't have one.
No, there's some fighter. Like, they're a glass.
Is he in the UFC?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Alistair Overeem?
Yeah.
Alistair Overeem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's chin is butt cheeks, bro. That guy gets knocked out by wind.
He actually doesn't even like go to bed. He just like puts his head on the pillow and falls asleep. Yeah. No disrespect. I love you, Alistair.
Alistair, you've had some good fights, and I really appreciate you beating the shit out of Brock Lesnar that one time.
Yeah, but it's time for you to be done.
Your chin is bad, man. And that's not, I don't think it was always bad, but...
No, I think it used to be pretty good. But Chuck Liddell, he got Chuck Liddelled. He got Liddelled.
Mm-hmm. He did get Liddelled. That should be a new slang. He got Liddelled. He got Liddelled. And that's when an aging fighter loses his chin completely.
Yeah.
It's happened.
When they had it pretty good
when they
or
had
even great.
A great chin, they lose it.
Yeah. It doesn't come back. Luke
Rockhold.
Luke Rockhold.
He might have gotten Liddelled by Yoel.
Luke Rockhold's a pussy too.
I will agree with that. I'll sign off on that. I'm not going to sign off on the Nate one.
Everybody hates
Luke Rockhold's not going to do anything.
Everybody hates Luke Rockhold.
Yes, I hate Luke Rockhold.
Do you think his mom cheers for the other guy?
Maybe. For Yoel?
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's 50-50.
If I was a woman...
Okay, so
is that gay?
No, because I agree. Yoel Romero is one of the most attractive humans on earth, only because of how absolutely in shape he is.
He's
the alpha male. In a room full of alpha males, he is undoubtedly the alpha male of that room.
Yeah.
In a room full of UFC fighters.
Yeah. They all look like soy boys.
Yeah.
Robert Whittaker is a soy boy next to Yoel.
Yeah. Dude. It's ridiculous. We don't even have to get into that. I could talk about it for hours.
Quoting Joe Rogan, he looks like something out of a movie.
He looks like Black Wolverine. We've talked. This is the first episode.
Black Wolverine?
Like Hugh Jackman when he just jumps out of the pool and he's just flying.
Yeah, now I see it. For a second, I was just thinking of like the hair and it was kind of confusing me. But
like
now,
when he jumps out and he has the claws and you're like, oh my God, that guy's ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Yoel Romero in real life. Like he looks like a genetic experiment. He looks like what Cuba was preparing for. Like, that was their super soldiers.
That's the Cuban Missile Crisis.
But, yeah. Literally, that's who he is. He is the Cuban Missile Crisis
Should that be his
personified.
Yoel,
that has to be his
Missile
nickname,
Crisis.
Right?
Yoel, the Missile Crisis. No, it's Soldier of God.
Oh, yeah. That's so badass, too.
That's badass.
But Cuban Missile Crisis. I feel like that has to be someone.
The Missile Crisis.
That's unreal. But, so how do you think this Max Holloway fight goes down? Like,
I think Max wins.
How and when? You think it's
third round? Brian Ortega kind of like peppering, but this time the ref steps in.
TKO.
I will simply offer you this though. Dustin is solid, and he won their first fight, good. So he at least deserves.
That was Max Holloway's first UFC fight. Right?
I know.
2012,
but he beat him.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think we've seen some examples where it's like, oh, that was early in his career, and then they do it again. It's just like Justin Gaethje not Ali Quinta and Kevin Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Lee. It's when we were going into that fight, Kevin Lee. But then it was people just.
I was so sure on Kevin Lee that fight.
Rose, you wanna?
And you want to hear the weirdest thing? I was watching it with my girlfriend and her parents because it was on Fight Night. It was on Fox, and we were watching like the news or something. And this comes on, and I'm like, "Dang, I want to watch this bad," but I'm allergic to their cat, and the cat was in the other room. So we're watching this, and her parents were out getting takeout or something. I love her parents; they're the best. And we were watching it, and I was like, "Oh, we can change it. I'll just look at like the results on Google or something." They're like, "No, we want to watch it," because they were definitely trying to like see my interests, which is like. Saying you like UFC to someone is very risky.
Yeah.
Because some people are like, oh, it's a sport. That's cool. Like, it's like liking football. Some people are like, this is a sin. And like, you're a bad person for liking these ripped men fighting. And trying
you're better off going for, like, I'm into boxing.
Right.
Because then they're like,
it's only hands.
It's only hands, and he's just one of those people.
Yeah,
just a little...
It's a little off.
But with UFC,
they were really cool about it, and we actually watched both the Edson Barbosa fight, which was a particularly hard fight to watch.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
I was just gonna say that.
Like during I was like, we can change it if you guys want. Yeah. Like this guy, what's his name?
Dan Hooker.
Yes, taking body kicks.
Oh
my gosh,
painful.
it was hard to watch. And they were just watching and like, oh, this is cool. well, and I was like, oh no. Guys. And then so I'm like, all right, well, the main event comes on. It's Quinta versus Kevin Lee, and I'm like, Kevin Lee's gonna definitely win, guys. Like Kevin Lee's the real deal, and they're like, oh yeah, I can see that. He looks a lot more like muscular and like
he's jacked.
Yeah, he does. Quinta,
juicy.
Not to say he's not jacked, because most like significantly high percentage of the UFC fighters have to
92.45%.
Yeah, that's reasonable. And,
super specific.
And the rest are all in heavyweight.
Yeah. Once you get to middleweight, you see a slight disconnect.
Because I don't think they're cutting as much as the lower weight classes.
And then heavyweight is just off to the races.
Yeah, right. It can be like
Daddest man on the
Tuivasa style.
Yeah.
But so we're watching this fight, and I'm like, I'm praying for a submission. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I feel bad because the last fight almost went the distance. So we've already watched enough UFC for them, and I can tell that they're not as into it. Like, they're trying to be cool, and I appreciate them so much for that. So this fight, of course, goes all 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And by the end, I kind of knew Quinta was going to win, but it was. It was decisive in some rounds. I forget which rounds because I didn't.
L1, 4, and 5 were definitive. 2, 3 should have been Kevin.
Really?
Yeah, but one judge gave it 49-46. Well, which when I heard that, I was like, oh, they gave him 1, 2, 3, and maybe even 4. I was like, there's no way they gave Quinta 2 or 3.
Right.
And then it happened. And I was confused.
I honestly thought that I thought after watching the fight that Kevin Lee was going to win, but at the same time I wasn't watching closely at all because I was just so focused on like trying to keep conversation up and not have to watch this.
Yeah,
it was not like that was one of the more awkward. Not awkward because they handled it really well, and I don't think that they're one of those people who are like this is wrong. Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, watching 2 dudes fight. It's intense.
Yeah. Oh god.
Like I sweat when I watch UFC fights, bro. And especially if you have any emotional investment. Can you imagine? Yeah. Like, dude, can you imagine like Terry Adams' mom at the fight against Edson Barbosa before Terry Adams just got wheel kicked to death?
Oh no.
Like, can you imagine that seeing your son? And like
a kid. Oof. Imagine a kid seeing their dad.
That's the thing where it's like
whacked
with Max Holloway, like Mini Blessed.
Respect,
and that's such a smart like every other athlete does it. They bring their kids to the post game press conferences, but with fighting, it's like, dang, hope daddy doesn't get like choked. Like it's not like you threw an interception, dad. You'll have one next game. It's like, dad, you took massive brain damage, and I'm scared for you to fight again.
You might never be the same.
Yeah, it's different. It's just different. But I think the Max Holloway Dustin Poirier Okay, it's one of those fights where I feel like I know Max is going to win, you know? But there's something in the back of my head that's like, I think Dustin might have it.
That's how I feel about Anthony Smith and John Jones. There's something in the back of my head. The same thing happened when it was TJ and Henry. And it was like, what's going on here?
That psychic thing. The day of, we were like, I think Henry might have it.
Yeah, first I was like thinking first round knockout Henry, something might happen.
And the last time I had that feeling was the Kane and Ngannou fight, and you already you had it, but I was like, I don't know. I think Ngannou's gonna end it. It was correct, and so like usually this thing's like pretty accurate, the back of my brain, and there's something saying that Dustin Poirier is ready. Maybe. But okay, worst case scenario, I love Max Holloway. I'm just gonna say that. Worst case scenario, Max just goes back to featherweight and defends his title again. He's like, all right, took an L, but let's. Jose Aldo, what's up? Let's complete the trilogy.
How about I knock you out in the third round again?
Or like, but the thing is, there's really not that much left for featherweight. Like
Frank Edgar.
Max. Sure.
Do that, and then it's like.
That's fine. I don't even. Do you think that does like main event numbers?
Him versus Frankie?
Yeah.
230.
230? I think it does like average.
230.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It's good
for a Max Holloway, and he's gonna get even bigger.
He's gonna get big if he beats Dustin Poirier and becomes 150. If he becomes the double champ,
he's already an upcoming star in a way.
Yeah. Oh, dude, his Brian Ortega fight put him on the map.
Dude, I just got it. Izzy beats Whitaker and fights Tyron. Tyron wins.
Whoa.
And goes for the double champ.
That would be...
I think Tyron wins that, but...
That'd be pretty insane.
Oh, man, that'd be so much fun. Tyron's unstoppable. He's like a real-life cheat code. He's got... crazy.
He does.
And anyway, back to...
What were we talking about?
To Max and Dustin.
Oh, yeah, Max and Dustin. Oh, so... In related news to this interim fight, Tony Ferguson reportedly denied to fight for the featherweight title. I mean, not featherweight, lightweight title.
Which reminds me, you should go follow the 1-2 podcast on Instagram. I posted about this last Thursday or something.
Yes. Follow that. The 1-2 podcast. I hope I don't have to spell that out. The 1 and 2 are numbers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the 12 podcast.
Here.
There's not a hyphen or anything.
Let me make sure, because I'm pretty sure it's like the one. Here, we're pulling it up here. Sometimes internet speed can be iffy. The 1-2 podcast, all lowercase, numbers, no hyphens, no nothing.
Yes, sir. So Tony Ferguson denied to fight for interim lightweight title. I believe it was supposed to be Max Holloway versus Tony Ferguson, which I would have loved that fight. But I'm not mad at the Poirier fight at all.
It's unfair to Tony. It's unfair to Dustin.
Yeah,
nobody win. The only person that fight does, like the only person who wins. The only person who wins in that fight, regardless of outcome, is Max.
Yeah, I agree. I think putting him at 155 is going to significantly increase his popularity.
Really?
Lightweight's hot. Who messed up more in this situation? Do you think the UFC messed up for not giving Tony the immediate shot, or do you think that Ferguson messed up for not taking the interim?
He's smart. Fight? He's smart. He knows he's going to get the fight in.
Do you think July. He will?
Yep.
See, this is where we differ. I'm not sure that he will.
I think he will. If he doesn't, it's like, what do I have to do? I was already the interim champion.
Yeah.
I never lost it. So, in theory, he should get it over Dustin or Max.
I agree.
I mean, he was the interim champ before. He has another win. He's been deserving a title shot for like 5 fights or something.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
there's
crazy.
There's not a ton. I don't think there's anything left for him to do, but at the same time, the UFC is not. They're not known for always following the rules. They go for money fights, and Max Holloway versus Tony Ferguson is a money fight, and I think that they really did desperately want to make that fight. Tony, I think, made the smart move for his health, business-wise.
Yeah, I think
probably should have taken the fight.
What if he denied the fight because he's taking a fight with Conor?
That was the theory that I had. I was like, he might just be being like, I don't even care about the belt. I know I'm the best in lightweight. Let me fight Conor, then I'll fight whoever has the belt.
Yeah.
And to be honest, what I was thinking, okay, if I'm Tony, if I have to pick, I have 3 fighters that I'll contend against or I'll try to take the belt from in the future. It's gonna be Dustin Poirier, it's gonna be Max Holloway, or it's gonna be Khabib. Who do I want to fight the least? I would, in that situation, I say Khabib.
Yeah, Khabib is the hardest person for him to fight.
For anyone, dude.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Tony's, I don't know. Like, I just feel like out of those 3, I think Tony Ferguson versus Dustin Poirier, I think Ferguson wins decisively. I think Tony versus Max, it's up in the air. I think it's Max. Well, I want to see him at 155 before I say anything. Tony versus Khabib, I don't know.
Right now, I'm thinking Tony.
Right now, I think, but I don't know, man.
It's such a hard fight to judge.
It's a hard fight.
In 2 days, I might be thinking Khabib.
Right, because who's ever made Khabib look bad?
Glausen Tebow.
Was that the one where he was basically supposed to lose and he didn't?
Yeah.
You're right. So do you think Tony ever fights Khabib, or do you think he takes a fight against Conor?
I think he does. I think he fights him in July.
Really? Yep. I don't think so. I think the interim lightweight champion of whoever that is, I think they get it. And that's just because I feel like I know the UFC, and I feel like there's a curse on the number one contender lately.
Yeah.
With Kobe, like, they don't give
a
shit about your belt.
Yeah, Marlon Moraes. Yeah. Oh, my God. Jose Aldo is number one ranked in
featherweight? No way.
Yeah, he is.
Over Ortega?
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Max Holloway versus Volkanovski. I don't know why people are rooting for that fight so much. I don't think it's interesting at all.
I don't know about that. It just kind of seems like a Jeremy Stevens versus Max type scenario. I think volume beats power.
Speaking of Jeremy Stevens, Jeremy Stevens Zabit, you think you got Zabit winning?
Yeah, I have Zabit winning via submission in the second round.
I got Jeremy.
How?
First round knockout.
Really?
Yeah. Counter left.
Dude.
2 minutes in.
Okay, we got to write this down. Because I want you to be right. Because usually when you say first round knockout.
Tony Ferguson, first round knockout. Habib Nurmagomedov.
Oh my gosh, don't say that. I would not like to see that fight end that way.
No, I would want it to submission. A submission from Tony. Triangle.
I feel like that's more.
It's more decisive.
That's more embarrassing for Habib to get beaten on the ground like that. I would love that.
Yeah.
I like Habib a lot. I like Tony too. They're two characters.
El Kakui, the boogeyman.
When he fights, he actually looks terrifying.
He's scary.
His like body type. He just looks like a chupacabra.
Chupacabra. Loco hombre.
You got anything else?
No.
Really?
What?
I don't either.
Oh, that's it for the list?
I mean, that's what was on my list. The last thing was Tony Ferguson. Overall, I think it's a sad situation because if anyone deserves this, it's not Tony Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at Colby Covington because I don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Ferguson's weird and he's funny.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm just going to say this once. All these 155ers are rats in a rat race. Tony Ferguson's a turtle. Ninja Turtle.
Michelangelo.
What's your favorite?
Mine's Michelangelo.
Because his is Michelangelo.
Woodley Usman?
I think we talked about this last time. Yeah. I think Woodley gets it easy. Usman is just younger Woodley.
Yeah.
And I think the striking's... he doesn't have the rocket right hand that Woodley does.
No. Gebhardt, Munoz?
Yeah, Garbrandt, yeah. Cody. I have faith in Cody. I think that...
Me too.
I think Cody's legit. I just think TJ Dillashaw's legitter. I think TJ Dillashaw is going to probably end up as probably the best bantamweight of all time. He's already second.
Actually, I disagree with that.
You
know who's going to be the number one bantamweight of all time?
Who?
Henry Cejudo.
You think so? Do you really think so?
I mean, honestly...
Do you want to do hot takes of the day and make that your hot take?
No, I got something else to talk about. What's going on with DC?
What do you mean, what's going on?
Why has he not had a fight scheduled? What is he waiting for?
Apparently, he had some back issues.
The fight against Stipe almost got canceled the day of.
Yeah.
He sneezed wrong.
Sneezed. That's what it's from. Did you know that? He said that's what the back issues are from.
Is he done?
No, he's not done. He has a fight left. He has a fight or two.
I know.
He's not going to retire, dude.
The fight against Brock is not there.
He loves being champion, dude.
Him versus Brock is not happening.
Really?
Is that your
hot take?
I promise you.
Is that the hot take?
No.
Dang, you're just spitting out hot takes today.
Dude.
You're a hot take machine, bro.
You want? I got a hot take. I got a hot take.
Just like you don't think that the Brock Lesnar fight's gonna happen?
Nope.
Why?
Why wait? You could have scheduled that fight months ago.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Why haven't you?
Don't ask me. I'm not Brock. I think Brock popped, bro. That's what I'm saying. I think he popped. For sure.
Yeah, Brock popped.
He popped.
What's your hot take? Let's break down Anthony Smith, John Jones. For sure.
Okay.
Last thing we'll talk about, then our hot take.
I'll make that's your okay. I'm gonna make the argument for John Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do Anthony Smith?
Sure.
All right. You want to go first, or should I?
You go first. So
okay. Just keep in mind, I think Anthony Smith could take it. He has a little chance, but like it's like the voice in the back of your head. It's kind of telling me that he's on like a. It's gonna
like
be something. It's gonna be like a legend.
Yeah.
Hey, don't say it's destiny, because the last time someone said it was their destiny, they got knocked out by left hook Larry. Michael Bisping.
Oh, yeah.
It's my destiny.
Sorry. No, but like the way it's going, it's like a movie.
Yeah, it does. He's been running through people.
God, his knockout of Shogun.
His one of Rashad is just.
He's vicious.
It is, but I think the Rashad one, I almost thought was like, maybe that's a fluke, because that was such a classic Muay Thai clinch that Rashad almost looks like he just let it happen when he got kneed in the face and he just goes down. But the Shogun one was more impressive, and I think the Ozdemir one was the most impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the argument for John Jones, second best all time.
GOAT light heavyweight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Undeniably, unless you want to talk PEDs, and it's DC.
Right.
But
GOAT light heavyweight.
Possible GOAT.
Yeah, for sure. His resume, the names that he has are more impressive.
GOAT resume.
Yeah, no doubt GOAT resume. Great striking, unreal groundwork, whether that be submissions or just straight up wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He has insane length, so it's hard to get close to him without getting tagged a little bit. And he takes almost a methodical approach to fighting, where, as most people are like, I want to knock this dude out.
Mm-hmm.
There was this breakdown that I was watching where it shows he will like try to rip people's arms and like tear the ligaments. Mm-hmm. So they're not as powerful. The kicks that he does, he's dirty, but it's effective. His body, a lot of his body shots like get people damaged by. He takes people into deep waters and then essentially just outclasses them in everything.
Yeah.
But do I think John Jones is going to win? Most likely, yes, because it's John Jones. That's the only argument I have to really say. It's John Jones. He beat the number one pound for pound fighter, Daniel Cormier. He beat Chael Sonnen,
the GOAT.
Machida, dude. You can run through. He has so many wins.
Vitor. Rashad.
Rampage.
Machida. Evans. DC.
Gustafsson twice.
I mean, he lost that first fight, but
I don't know, man.
No, I'm saying he won. Gus won rounds 1, 3. 1. It might have been. I don't remember.
I think it was 1, 2, 3. I think it might have been 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4.
Well, I know he won. Gus won round 3.
Did he?
Yeah, and then I think he might have won round 4.
You think? No, it wasn't round 4 when Jones had that.
No, but he had one elbow and then hurt him for like 30 seconds.
And that was at the very end of the round.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a tough decision, but typically when it's close, champions get it.
Yeah.
And
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think
it,
like if it's really that close, like that fight was razor thin.
Mm-hmm.
Like John won by the skin of his teeth. But you got to give the skin of the teeth to the champion.
Yeah.
Especially if it's John Jones.
It's only fair.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why Demetrius Johnson should have retained the title.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's an 11-fight win streak, or 11-fight title defending streak.
So,
what's your
argument for Lionheart?
That's such a cool name.
It's a badass nickname. It's better than Bones.
I like Bones.
I don't like it as much as Lionheart.
I mean, yeah,
it's so sick.
Okay, so what's the argument for the good old Lionheart?
Yes.
He's got power.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a chin.
Yes.
He's got heart.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And he is aggressive. And I don't think you'll ever beat John by skill.
By being aggressive? Or no, by skill.
I think you have to be a sort of Derek Lewis where you just, let's go.
You got to catch him. And I think you have to have it's a combination of luck and just you have to have knockout power.
Yeah.
And that's
why I think DC beats him at heavyweight.
That's why I think if anyone was going to beat him, I wanted it to be Rampage. I mean, not Rampage.
I was like, that's an interesting...
Anthony Johnson.
Oh, I could see it.
Dude, he wrecks people.
I could see it, but I
Gustafsson fight, oof.
But also, I could see John Jones choking him out.
Yeah, I can see
rear naked choke.
Well, because that's what DC did.
Every real loss on Rumble's record is rear naked choke.
Yeah.
Every real loss.
Isn't that weird?
The one was stupid.
You would think that he would just correct that. You'd think that he would just work on that. But, I mean, I don't think he comes back to MMA, right?
No, I don't think Probably so. Not. I think he's having too much fun.
Yeah, you think that, like, Lionheart has what it takes to land that? Mm-hmm. Like, he has the power. And
he needs to. I think from the minute opening belt, just gotta run. You just gotta go.
I think he can take it.
Yep. He took bombs from Ozdemir.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Ozdemir has deceptive power.
Up and Ozdemir be like, all right, like
I'm having fun.
All right, let's do this.
And he worked him. Yeah, and he tired him out.
But that's the thing where it's like, consider John's gas tank.
It's good.
But in the championship rounds, Anthony Smith, I think that if Lionheart was going to win, I think he takes it deep.
Really?
Yeah.
I think if Smith wants to win, he gets it done in the first round.
I don't think we've never seen light heavyweight Smith in the championship rounds.
No.
But I don't know. Yeah, I rescind that statement. I don't think you take it deep because landing a submission on John Jones is not going to happen.
His jiu-jitsu is good. He started off as
really
a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, really good. So, yeah, I think, I don't know.
John Jones is obviously the logical choice.
An unsolvable puzzle, almost.
Yeah.
It feels like sometimes. That no one knows how to no one has his number.
Yeah.
We thought Gustafsson did. And then it was an unimpressive John Jones beat the shit out of Gustafsson.
Yeah.
So
I think it was an unimpressive Gustafsson too.
Yeah, I just made for
but
kind of a crazy fight.
Nobody remains undefeated in MMA.
You don't think so?
Nobody.
You think Khabib will end up with
Shut up! Don't bring up Khabib.
He might be the exception, but he's a monster.
But you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get you.
Like there's Khabib, but he's also not done.
Not even close. I don't think.
Well, if he retired, then he would kind of throw my statement in the water. But
I hope he gets just. I hope like his last fight, they give him some like easy, like seemingly easy like strike or something. He just gets starched. Ends up like 31-1. Who do you? Oh, what's your hot take of the day? Because you say yours and then you got to justify, and I'll say mine.
No, you got to say yours first.
I don't know mine yet.
Oh, okay. And I'm gonna say this with I got a lot of love for this guy, but the way he's been acting, Stipe Miocic is a pussy.
Oh my god.
I love you, Stipe, but what happened, man? What happened?
All right, I'm gonna give you the floor. This is the monologue
come on.
now.
Okay. When I first started, following MMA, every I can't really recall all of the champions, but a lot of the champions, they talk smack or whatever, and they, pick their fights. Stipe just had this aura of just, let's do it. Whatever you want. I'll take Francis Ngannou. I'll take JDS, even though he's already beaten me. I'll take Werdum, who tapped the GOAT heavyweight. I'll take Overeem, the most decorated striker in the heavyweight division ever. I'll do it.
Mark Hunt.
Because I'll take Mark Hunt, who could lay on me and suffocate me.
Yeah.
I don't think he took. I don't think he fought right.
I'll take Stefan Struve.
That one didn't work out.
That
one didn't work out for him. But now it's just he's so interested in getting the rematch, whereas before the title didn't really mean too much. He wanted it.
Win.
He wanted it, but it was more of I need to show everybody that I'm the best.
Yeah, I agree.
It wasn't like I need this to prove myself. It's I need this because it'll help me show. Like everybody will finally understand. Oh, this guy's on top.
Right.
Whereas now he's just so focused on getting the belt.
He refuses to fight. And I think it's almost delusional the way that he's like, I'm not going to fight until they give me a championship shot. That's not how the UFC works.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fair, and some champions get like rubber rematches.
When they don't deserve it, too.
Right. But you got to work your way up, Stipe, because what you got to understand is the UFC doesn't love you.
No, they hate you.
They don't like you. You're not as exciting as some of the... You're
not a
fighting,
draw.
You're exciting. Rhymed. But in terms of trash talk, you're trash. Like, in all the checks that they want for entertainment value, rarely do you check off other than knockouts.
Yeah.
And striking.
Yeah.
And a chin. But what you have to understand is, like, they'll give Conor a rubber rematch even though he vacated. Mm-hmm. And, like, they don't care about that. But when it comes to someone like you, even though your talent level might be number one contender or even top of the division, like ahead of Daniel Cormier, which it's arguable.
I think DC is
better right now. But even though you have to just – that's even Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
Cain Velasquez lost to JDS. Then he
had to fight
Big Nog.
Yeah.
Then he got it.
Yeah.
Even Cain Velasquez. And they
love him.
Loves Cain Velasquez.
Even though he's not that much different from Stipe.
They love him.
They love him.
They love that guy.
He's like your Mexican uncle.
Yeah, right. I think there's a large audience of like the Hispanic crowd, and
I'm gonna drink a Corona to honor your Mexican heritage. That's so funny.
But I think that I think he just has to get back in the octagon.
He just needs to go.
What's
your hot take?
Oh, give me a second.
Yoel Romero is the GOAT middleweight.
Is that a real thing?
No, but an argument could be made for number 2. And I'm not even
kidding.
Who's
number 1?
Anderson.
Oh, yeah. But no shit.
Wait, outside of PEDs.
But didn't Yoel pop?
Can you give Yoel number... Wait, hold up. I feel like I'm being really stupid. I'm forgetting somebody.
I mean, Robert Whittaker beat him twice.
Yeah, Robert Whittaker beat him twice by close decision.
Yeah, correct. And you can
even though I think that Robert won, you could give it to Yoel. I think.
I'm more team
I don't
Yoel.
Really think it should be, but I think at best you can give it to a draw. But, I mean, somebody could think it's Yoel
for sure.
I mean, you have Chris Weidman, who's a...
Yeah, he's up.
The wins that Yoel has, they're legit.
Pretty impressive. I think...
I mean,
I think Yoel could become top 2? Yes, sir. I do believe so.
Kennedy, Tavares, Brunson, Machida, Souza, Weidman, Rockhold, and arguably beat Whittaker.
Once. Yeah.
That's legit.
That is legit. I don't know, man. That's a hot take, but...
I'm not saying right.
It's... I think he's...
Top 5.
Yeah, for sure top 5. Michael Bisping? Is he somewhere in there?
No.
Really?
As much as I love Michael Bisping.
He's probably not up. In terms of stories, he's number 1.
Yeah.
In terms of like storylines. But what's my hot take? Oh, I have one.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think that Conor McGregor is even a top 10 lightweight of all time.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a hot take. Trust me.
Fire take.
I know what I'm saying.
That's a habanero sauce.
It's almost sacrilegious. But
I mean, he's had one fight.
He's 1-1, right?
He's 1-1, and he beat Eddie Alvarez.
I don't think the Eddie Alvarez fight was something else.
It was good, but like it is Eddie Alvarez. Like it's a very good win. But
Eddie Alvarez proved that his UFC reign was not entirely successful.
No. Like, Cowboy beat the shit out of Eddie. Does he deserve to be in the top 10?
So did Dustin Poirier.
Like, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it's arguable.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, top 10? Top 10, yes.
I think, well, you got Habib, Tony.
It's deep, bro. It's a long
BJ,
list.
Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Conor could be number 10. Maybe, but definitely not top 5.
I think with a record of 1-1, and also when faced up against true championship level talent in Habib Nurmagomedov,
you got
true
exposed. Not exposed.
Top 3 lightweights of all time. Mm-hmm. He failed miserably. I don't think he won a round. Do you?
Okay, my brother and I had a big argument about this when the fight was happening and round 3 was over. Everybody's like, oh, well, Conor won a round. Khabib lost a round now. That changes things. And my thought was, okay, maybe he did. That doesn't change things anyway. But did Conor win round 3? I don't know, I watched it. I watched that round, I think, 2 or 3 times by itself. Conor,
he looks flat-footed.
He looks flat. He's tired, and the punches he's landing are so not
light.
They're light. And his head's moving his head back, but you can tell it's not doing anything. And when Khabib lands, they're good connections. You can tell.
I don't know.
And then he gets a takedown.
That night, I was cheering for Conor, so I was like, he won that. But looking back, I've watched the fight twice or 3 times. I don't know. I don't know if he won a round. Did not win round 1. Absolutely did not win round 2.
1, 2, and 4
are
not even close.
Undeniable, yeah.
Somebody's calling me.
That's my hot take. Who is it?
It's probably my brother.
The tax collector.
He's from Yep, it is. It is my brother. We'll put him on.
Right. So, I mean,
brother,
we gave our hot takes.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
He's going to be watching this later when I get back.
Sorry, Danny's brother.
Yeah. You should upload this right away.
Should I?
Yeah.
It's currently 10:10.
10:10?
My class tomorrow is at 1. I can do that. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. Yep. How about you?
I think I got everything. I'm going to do an ultra hot take.
All right, just to end it. And we're not even going to justify it. We're going to say it, and we're ending the podcast. We're going to say a hot take, and then we're going to be like, goodbye. Good night, everybody.
I'm going to say something that's so controversial.
Sound off in the comment section how you feel about this hot take. If you make it here,
you probably did.
We're deep.
This is going to sound ridiculous.
We're literally...
There is an argument to be made that Henry Cejudo is the GOAT flyweight.
All right, good night, everybody.